What are you doing?
The chicken strips.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Black.
Yes.
Hello everyone and welcome to the finals and grand finals map pool showcase for Holomania, hosted by BSM. So just a couple of quick things to start off. My name is Dynascape and I will be joined later by Sparky. She is commentating a match right now and will be here very shortly. And congratulations to all of the players that have made it so far. This pool is going to be used for the last two rounds. Again, this is the finals and grand finals showcase. And it is best of 13 or first to 7. If you guys have watched a couple of our past matches this weekend, you do have channel points predictions. So something to spice up the results while you're watching. And let's get into the showcase. The first rice pick is gonna be Cinema by Suisei, Leda, and Izuru. And this is the Korjak map pick. Both of the players joining us today for the showcase will be our good friend Walmart and Hyper. So if you guys take a look at the BPM, this is at 143 BPM. Quite a jump from Magnet. Magnet was 130, so we are going with a rate up essentially for finals and grand finals. And as we get into it, you'll see that it's all pretty much chord jacks throughout the song. You do get a couple of breaks throughout. It's mainly going to be in the back half of the map. I believe there is a big break from 2/3 of the way through until 3/4, and you can see that even these players are struggling. It is very, very dense throughout, and also very, very fast. But I mean, it is Core Jack, so I do expect some of our crazy physical players to just absolutely crush this. And definitely throughout the map, compared to Magnet, again, its density is very high, pretty much triples all the way throughout, and in the ending section after the break, it is very similar to Magnet, where you get a lot of the quads just all throughout, and we do see a fail from Hyper, so we got to turn no fail on. We did make this one very, very hard, so I don't I don't blame them at all. Yeah, unfortunately chat is not working. We're not sure why. Hopefully we can get that fixed later, but no chat for now. You don't get to see Walmart's or Hyper's funny little jokes. But yeah, I mean, as you saw, we're not gonna replay that. But as you guys saw, this is very, very, very hard. It is insanely hard. But again, with the players left in this tournament, you guys are gonna definitely crush it. So pretty straightforward pick for Rice 1. And as we get into the next pick, this is going to be Rice 2. And once it's loaded up, you'll see that it is Shiranui Flare with Mental Chainsaw. It is made by Dot, and this is the Handstream pick. BPM clocks in at 226, and it's very dense. I would say dense jump streams and light hand streams. And the thing about this is that the patterning is super, super trilly. You'll see a lot of split trills, a lot of crazy, crazy patterns. Even in this little break section, or I guess the section that's not the course, you do see you are still jump streaming. So again, it is quite stamina intensive as well, and you will see a lot of these anchors here on the left and then switches to the right columns. Extremely, extremely hard. And here's that light hand stream as well, sprinkled in. A couple of triples for you guys. Another break section, however, there's no time to rest in this map. You see even more split trills and just some very light jump streams here. As we get into this next course, 2/3 of the way through, again, you see those anchors, just very, very consistent. And you do see the middle anchors come out. Very, very tricky, especially if you're not expecting it in the last fourth of the map. But after this little section, no more breaks. We're gonna end it off with some more dense jump stream and light hand stream for you guys. This map is 2.5 minutes long, so I can see a couple of the lower seeded teams definitely running out of gas. So it might be a good pick if you guys are confident in FCing and you're facing a lower seeded team where you don't think that both players are very capable in terms of physicality, especially compared to your own. That is going to wrap up Rice 2. We're going to go ahead and show you guys Rice 3. This one is pretty interesting, I'd say. Definitely, in my opinion, a bit easier. This is going to be Stellar Stellar, the Rabbit House remix. Again, this is upgraded to 1.2% or 1.2. And this is classified as Bursty Tech. You'll see it is 3 minutes and 41 seconds, so this is going to be the longest Rice map for the pool. However, it's pretty light. I would say that the bursts are pretty doable, especially for a lot of these players left standing, and a lot of the map is composed of very light breaks with patterns that aren't too hard. And as we get into this third Rice pick, we are joined by our good friend BSM Sparky. Sparky, how are we doing today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. I don't know about you, Dinah, but it has been a very, very fun weekend of Holomania matches. And as you were alluding to, we are into this map pool showcase, going off Rice 3. Why don't you tell us more about it?
Sure. So basically, well, you see right here, we're going to start off with some very, very fast bursts, some doubles interspersed as well. However, a lot of times throughout this map, after these bursty sections, you do get a lot of just very long break sections to get back to that 400 combo cap if you do end up missing. This one is probably the longest, I would say. It starts off from the start of the map until around a fourth of the way through, and then after that you get again that break you see.
Yeah, a lot of Grace Note tech and a lot of implied mini jacks and jacks littered throughout that introduction. Do get a bit of a break here, go into a bit more of a light jump stream section to try and cool off the hands from that introduction. Definitely want to watch out for that intro, but you do get some room to recoup.
Yeah, it's quite a bit too. As you see, both players did break pretty much at the end of the section, and they get to 400 for essentially free. So it's very nice if you do break, because a lot of the times you get to just make it up, and it's going to be boiled down to raw accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely. Can definitely don't want to find yourself dropping any unnecessary accuracy there during that section before things start to pick up once again. And it's just a flurry of different snaps to contend with. A lot of broken up streams. Definitely can find yourself rushing some of those if you're not too comfortable with swinging a lot of your rhythms.
That gallop section, I feel, is also very doable for the players left in the pool though. So I expect them to be able to, again, further their lead as we get into some more speed bursts. We see, again, just a lot of the different snappings and a lot of doubles on different anchors. It gets very, very hectic very quickly.
Yeah, I feel like the right term for those sections are just abrasive.
Yeah.
Trying to make your way through it relatively unscathed. It's probably one of those where it's easy to FC, hard to act. Because you could definitely find yourself mashing your way through it at the expense of your accuracy. But with the players that are left, I feel like they're going to be able to make quick work of sections like that, especially with all the breaks in between.
Yeah, again, you see here another breakdown and another break to come with it as we get into this last little gallop section, and it will finish off with one final burst One thing that does change at the end is that you do get a lot more mini jacks, you'll see. So the difficulty and the ki is up just a little bit at the end here. So definitely very, very chokeable, especially if you're uncomfortable on the map. Very, very easy to miss right at the end as we get into this last speedy section.
Yeah, there's just so many implicit anchors littered throughout these denser sections where you're just finding yourself repeatedly hitting the same key over and over again, that it does start to become a bit challenging to work your way through as we get into these bit more speed jack sections to round things out. And that will do it for our third rice pick.
Yeah, that was Stellar Stellar by Suisse. It is a Rabbit House remix, and that was the Bursty Tech pick, and also longest rice pick of the pool.
Yep, and with that being said, we'll load up our fourth rice pick of this map pool. Just waiting for everything to get settled down. Some very impressive runs. Going to be interested to see the scores on that. And our fourth rice pick is going to be Error, a cut version.
Yep, this was actually originally made by one of the current participants, Rei, team of Usada Pokora, Seed 3, recently knocked down into that loser's bracket by the Seed 2 team. But we did make some edits. We chopped the back half because it was quite long, and so now we get only 2 minutes and 21 seconds. However, this is going to be a stamina and speed pick, I would say. There's basically very, very awkward streams, just super long phrases where you're streaming for a very long time, starting from the inside columns.
Yeah. And as we make our way through this first verse, a couple of LN anchors, nothing too intrusive in that department before you pick up where you left off with all the rice.
Yeah, that first little speed section was just a taste of what's to come as we get into this little break and it picks up a little bit. Nothing too bad though, you're just mini jacking until it starts up again with the vocals.
Yeah, and just very dense streams to work with, very easy to misread some of these patterns, a couple of two-note chords to work with to make it a bit of a jump stream section as well. And as you can see, very easy to lose your place here and find yourself dropping multiple misses throughout that section as you make your way into the back half of the map and things start to calm down just a little bit here.
Yeah, and the snapping for this map was a 16th. I took a look in the editor, and pretty much even during the streams, the snappings do change, especially going from triplets into, I believe, 8th notes. It is very, very hectic. So again, it being a speedy stream pick, it's very hard to MA. However, I am expecting a lot of 200s dropped as well. And just with the nature of streams, I do see a lot of chain misses in the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, if you are comfortable reading these more dense technical patterns where you're just having to do a lot across the columns, I mean, I feel like we could say it for all these picks. There's going to be someone that's going to basically prove us wrong in that, oh, these are hard. No, there's going to be some insane scores.
And we have been seeing a lot of insane scores throughout the last round. Just a lot that surprised us, and we can never underestimate the players that are in this tournament.
Exactly. But with that being said, we will move on to our fifth rice pick, and it is going to be Bang Dream.
Yeah, this is the Bang Dream X Hololive. This is Fubuki singing. So if you are familiar with Bang Dream as well, this is a collab with them where they sing the opening to Bon Appetit S. I forget what the anime
I think it is Bon
called.
Appetit.
Yeah. And this is actually the tech map. Very bursty speed, and also super quick core jacks. Again, you see the BPM at 152. After the stream section, you do see a lot of triples come out, so it's going to be very, very hard to transition in and out of speedy streams and speedy core jacks.
Yeah, absolutely. You can already see some of the technical elements making their way through. Very mini jack based before you get into the burst.
And I believe this is the shortest rice map of the pool, clocking in at a minute 38. So if you do miss in this map, not a lot of ground to make it up.
Oh, some very intrusive long jacks.
Those long jacks hurt.
Yeah, especially at this BPM, if you're not fully prepared to hit all the notes in that anchor, just good luck. Good luck trying to recover from it.
You do get the little split roll transition into some more jacks.
Yeah, and we're already making our way into the last third of the map, and every transition as you make your way through the choruses into the verses, it's just, there's no room to breathe.
None at all, no.
And even as you get into this bit of an interlude, there's still things to contend with, a lot of really quick bursts to try and catch you off guard here.
However, that is going to round out the Rice 5 pick.
Yep, something short and sweet for you guys to contend with here. Definitely could see this being picked off of a breakpoint to try and double up on the score by some teams. So very interesting to see how this will be employed. And now we get into the funniest map, because this has been used so many times as they warm up throughout this tournament that we are now putting it in the pool. It is Goodbye Sengen.
And we did upgrade it to 1.2. Very fun map. Super fun.
This is the best map in the pool. I am not biased. This is the best song that we have put in this tournament, and and I say that even though I mapped 2 of the maps in this tournament. This is the best song.
Yeah, the song is so good, and the map is very fun to play as well. If you haven't seen it yet, it is dumb, but very ergonomic streams at that.
Yeah, definitely less abrasive to work with, but the rate's going to make things a little bit interesting. I'm pretty sure the players can handle something at this speed relatively well, but that being said, misreads are definitely going to be the name of the game as you make your way through this very dense patterning. But that being said, very roll based, so if you can get the groove down of where your fingers need to be, you can definitely make your way through these patterns relatively easily.
Yeah, definitely the one saving grace of it being so fast as it is that you do get very lenient patterns. I would say until the end, where I think density picks up just a tad bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we make our way through the break section going into the back half of the map, again, you just got to deal with the rolls. Can definitely see some players might trend to rush some of those as they try and maintain the pace of the music.
Definitely. Even the break sections are quite hard and still very active. You are doing a lot, as we see here. Nice time to get some combo in if you did break during the faster portions. However, this last fourth of the map is going to be very brutal. Again, the density picks up just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can already see it here going into the last quarter of the map. And Dinah, who put all these noodles in my map?
It was definitely not me. So, I don't know. Sunapple and Mash made some edits to this pool, so blame them.
Nevertheless, definitely still worth keeping in the right side of the pool. The most of the difficulty comes from the right. So that being said, definitely got to watch out for the LN burst towards the back half of the map. So something to keep in mind if you do decide to challenge this pick.
I would definitely say that this map is on the easier side if you are a Rice player, though. So definitely something to look for if you have two very, very capable physical Rice players on your team. I expect most teams to be able to FC this not on command, but on a good run. Unlike some of the more burstier, speedier picks. As we get into LN1, and this is going to be a new start. This is an edit of the Castello diff. We did up the OD a bit, and also I believe we chopped off a chorus. Yeah, we did. It was also called out by one of the players, Einar, in one of the matches, I believe. If you take a look at the description on the song, you'll see a screenshot of it where he called that it would be in the finals with Rates. So congratulations to Einar with the ET prediction.
Yeah, good job to them. I mean, to be fair, there's only so much of a selection we had to work with, so players could definitely take pop shots as to what could be in the pool. Nice to know that they cared enough to try and make the predictions. But as we make our way into this map, bit of release coordination here at the beginning. A lot of jacks to contend with as well.
And a lot of staggered starts and ends on the noodles as well. Even a couple of flams on the transitions, I believe, with the Rice patterns. But you do see here so many awkward releases and schlongs to contend with. Just a lot to be doing on every single column the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. The density really does hit you like a truck if you're not really prepared for it. That introduction was very jack heavy. A couple of stagger releases here and there, but then once the chorus dives in, you're really going from 1 to 11 in an instant.
And I would say even the transition out of the chorus is quite hard as well. You do get some long note anchors with the offbeat hits on the Rice sections, so definitely can't be slouching when you think that it is safe to relax a little bit.
Yeah, you do get a bit of a break, but oh my goodness,
yeah, those
weeping can definitely knock you off your feet as you transition back into the more dense aspects of the map. Still half the map to go.
And again, this chorus section is just so hard. A lot of short, long notes placed in between. No long note is really extra long. So definitely going to be moving all the fingers.
Yeah, and then these sections, the endings of these choruses are so deceptive because you have one held note and then you have an LN anchor on the other column with a couple of triples and sometimes a quad in between. That remembering which one has to be let go can definitely introduce some difficulty despite the density not really being there.
Definitely, and I can see a lot of teams or individual players on a team, they can definitely drop at a part where they should be comboing, I guess, and getting back up to a combo cap if they miss during the course. So it can certainly set back a couple of teams on the transition out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is basically just constant barrage of staircase style of LNs where you're just rolling your fingers across the holds. And again, these LN anchored jacks make their reappearance, and I feel like those sections are going to be the major choke points for some teams and might be where some other teams might make their comebacks.
And thankfully, that's going to round off LN1. That was a new start by Mume. As we head into LN2, this is going to be quite the pick. I expect this one to be banned a lot, in my opinion. This is Hated by Life by ASCII. It is a cover, and this is very inverse intensive and also just insanely dense.
Yeah, I liked on the notes that we had for the showcase. The description was just goes crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, and yeah, it does go crazy. You will see, um, pretty much on the build up, there's a small inverse section, and then it hits you like multiple trucks in a row in the form of
It,
inverse as well as reverse shields, as well as awkward release timings in the course. It's so crazy.
if the one from LN1 didn't do you in, this one will.
Oh, yeah. Again, I expect this one to be banned quite a bit by teams that aren't as proficient in LN.
Can definitely see that happening as we make our way through this first quarter of the map. And you can already see some slower paced LN Jacks coming out here. Does begin to wear away, if not your physical stamina, but just your mental stamina. Just maintaining the concentration of what finger needs to be held down, and just those quick releases before repressing definitely does take a lot out of you, especially on these longer form maps.
And you see here what I was talking about. This course is just absolutely nasty. There's so much to deal with in such a short amount of time. I guess saving grace of it is that it is quite short for the course. However, it's extremely hard.
Yeah, and as things begin to lighten up just a little bit here, we have some LN anchors. You're doing stuff around the columns. Nothing too difficult, a chance to catch your breath maybe. That being said, some really slow trills on the LNs can definitely catch you off guard as they begin to pick up the pace.
Yeah, as we pick it up just a little bit, and then again, during that build-up, it basically turns into full inverse until you get into the course. It is very, very difficult to deal with. Just constantly upping the difficulty throughout the map.
Yeah, this one definitely feels like it goes through stages where it ramps up, comes back down, and then it ramps up once again.
Here's that build-up we're talking about. A lot of rice patterning to deal with in this build-up. However, again, we see that transition is super hard. Walmart braking, because it is very, very off-putting to go from a light handstream into just full LN mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of like implied quads throughout that section, and now you have a bit of a break. Gonna have an opportunity to see the scoreboard as you make your way into the last quarter of the map.
And one thing to note about this is that this is the only map in the LN pool that isn't a cut version. So we did make changes to all of the 3 other maps. We did sit this one tight at 4 minutes just to give players a longer LN map to deal with.
Yeah, this one's, I hope, has some very wild swings throughout, because there's definitely a lot that can test players on teams. Because the thing is that it's like, you can have one player is really proficient at LN, but if you're second, if your partner isn't as proficient, it can definitely affect the team score overall. And I feel like that's really where the swings are going to be. That the second player in the composition trying to hang on while the anchor tries to hold the best accuracy that they can.
And I do believe that stamina will also play a role, just the focus needed to concentrate on a map like this for 4 minutes long, as well as have the LN physicality for it. It's going to be a challenge for a lot of the players.
Absolutely. But now it's going to be LN3 coming out here. It's going to be Minato Aqua, Iwana.
And again, this is a Castella edit. We up the OD to 7, and we cut a course from this map. The main focus of this one, at clocking in at 2 minutes and 36, is that there are a lot of staggered starts and releases, as well as some quad like LN jacks to deal with.
Oh, and already an aggressive roll to start things off.
Definitely sets the tone.
Just hits you, just punches you in the face.
Bit of a sucker punch there as we wait for Bancho to load. You will see that rolls will kind of be the main theme of this map in the form of LNs.
Yeah, and these Grace Note swings across the playfield greet you here as you were alluding to those rolls with the LNs as you dive into the chorus.
And the chorus isn't too terrible compared to the other LN maps. It's not super hard as it starts up. You do see a small like inverse section and some rice interspersed. However, this is the main bulk of it. You will see here just so many staggered releases and starts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real test. You do see a lot of rolly patterns start to come out in the back half of this chorus. All of those LNs starting on different snaps and being released at different times as well.
As well as a couple graces as well. Might be hard to act, especially since they are at the end of the long note. Could damper your accuracy quite a bit if you aren't ready for it, because it does come in at quite a dense section.
Absolutely, and as we make our way into the back half of the map, definitely starts to build up a bit of steam here. Some really long LNs to hold before you start diving back into a little bit more dense. You could probably consider this more inverse style of patterning.
Yeah, and this part had a lot of reverse shields as well to deal with. Something that hasn't really popped up in the map too much until now. And this is going to be the last chorus. Again, we're going to start up with those rolly LNs. Definitely a place where you can chain miss and just lose where you are, get lost in the sauce, and drop act quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. And I see this as a prime spot for players to just chop off those LN tails, and you're just going to see a flurry of 200s as players try and hang on.
Yeah, focus on the combo and not the ACK, and you will start to see a lot of 200s come out of players on this map. But that is going to wrap up our third LN pick. We're going to go ahead and show you guys our fourth one. This is the famous We Say Ghost. Again, it is a cut version. We upped the OD to 7.4 and also removed the chorus.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people will be intimately familiar with this map. There is a ranked version. We managed to shave off 1 minute and 15 seconds off of it just by cutting that chorus. So definitely not going to be the marathon that players are used to playing the ranked version.
This LN pick being quite techy. It has, I would say, a mix of everything from the past maps. There's a lot of LN drills, reverse shields, and also the rolly staggered patterns that we saw in Iwana, the last LN pick.
Yeah, a lot of density elements before you calm back down, going into a bit of coordination here.
This is a very good pick if you are just a well-rounded LN player as well. Since there's so many elements to handle and different patternings, and it comes at you so quickly, it does change up fairly often throughout the map. So definitely something to look at if you think you are well equipped in the LN section and play a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you dive into the chorus, you do see those quad impacts before you start doing everything around the columns. You're just constantly bombarded with these LN streams.
Yeah, it kind of turns into like LN jacks, and then you get the LN streams and then LN releases, all like bundled into a 15-second section. It's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, and then going back into the more jack-oriented LNs as we make our way into the back half of the map. And the density starts to ramp up into the solo.
And the solo, you'll see just a lot of those LN trills, very rolly as well, and some inverse shields to deal with at the end.
Yeah, you do get a bit of a break now, going into the last third of the maps. That being said, still a lot to do, but it definitely lightens up a bit before the build-up starts to make its reappearance.
This map, super intense as well. Thankfully, compared to the other ones, I would say you get quite a bit of breaks, a lot of time to possibly get that combo going. However, as the course starts up again, I do see it as one of the harder LN picks to deal with. You see a couple of the shields come out as well on the first and fourth columns during this course, so it's very hard to deal with. It always mixes up on you. It always hits you with a mix-up.
Yeah, absolutely, before it tries to finish you off at the end of the transitions. And as you get into the last sliver of the map, definitely a lot more impacts to contend with, a lot more dense borderline inverse style patterning, and then just one last quad hold to end it off. And that'll do it for the LN pool.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the two hybrid picks. I believe the first one, as I wait for it to pop up,
Is
is
going
going
to
to
be
be go ahead.
our more LN focused hybrid. Gonna be LN with a little bit of tech.
Yeah, this is gonna be Sanji Junihun by Suisei and Inoue. Again, this is the LN hybrid. And fun fact about this map is that we were originally gonna use a different map set of this for the qualifiers before deciding to scrap it pretty late into the pooling game. Decided that map was quite a bit too easy, plus we had this in the works for finals, so very fun to see this song because it is a very good song.
Yeah, you can already see some free-form LN patterning, a lot of staggered releases, and a lot of staggered starts as well, a lot of implied mini jacks as well, making your way through this introduction. So definitely a lot on your plate to navigate very early on, and I feel like a real focus and where that tech element comes from is just going to be those mini jacks going into the holds.
Yeah, those jacks are quite hard, as well as the shields and reverse shields that come out during this slightly more techie section. And as we get into this course, you are gonna see a lot more in the form of Rice tech interspersed between these LN columns. Very hard to deal with, especially when the releases, again, as you said, were pretty free form.
Yeah, definitely a lot less rigid in terms of your timing, but that being said, the OD gives you a bit of respite to play around with the releases, a bit of an inverse here into the trills, and just everything gets thrown at you all at once going into the back half of the map, and very easy to lose your place as to what needs to happen on every single column.
Yeah, it's just so unlike any of the other LN picks. Again, this is the LN hybrid, so you will see just so many rice patternings in between the LN notes. Very difficult to deal with, and kind of jarring even in between the song, because a lot of the slower sections don't have as many as the chorus. The main difficulty just being in the weird LN timings.
Yeah, absolutely. And as opposed to the LN picks where you had like conventional rice patterning, you might have had some things to do in and out. This one is definitely a lot more abrasive in terms of what it's asking you to do with the rice patterning in between the LN. Definitely warrants your full attention as opposed to the LN picks that might have had some more rice elements in them, where you can kind of just brush them aside, this one, I feel like the mini jacks in between the LNs definitely force you to pay a bit more attention.
Yeah, we even saw a staircase in the transition into this course, something that doesn't show up too often. So players are going to have to deal with that as well as we get into this last little section. Slowing down just a little bit. It's just extremely hard to combo, as you've seen. This map is very hard. So if you can FC it, definitely something to look for.
Right, you are. And that being said, we can round out our hybrid pool with hybrid 2. This one's going to be a bit more rice focused. And as we get that loaded up, these scores are very close. Walmart and Hyper have been going at it on these picks, doing their absolute best here. These maps are very hard, and I do believe that they're both going in relatively blind.
Yeah, I believe we only gave them pretty much the SV maps to practice with, and then I think Walmart and Hyper kind of just said that they wanted to sight read it. However, it has been, as you said, very close, less than 2,000 points separated between the two on this map.
Yeah,
And that accuracy is pretty much telling that this map is definitely one of the harder ones in the pool.
yeah. And with that being said, this is going to be hybrid 2. It is going to be King World. Another song featuring Fubuki.
And this is the rice-oriented hybrid. It is uprated a bit to 1.05. You'll see the reason why as this map comes in. This is very fast streams. That's the main point of the rice section. And the hybrid comes in right after the streams where you have to deal with Ella and Jax. It's very hard.
Yeah, and you can already see the speed element coming out here. A lot of very quick, short LNs littered all over the place. Very Jack-oriented in its styling.
And the beginning is just kind of a small glimpse of what you'll get, because it does hit way harder in the chorus. As we get into this small build-up section, you will see a lot of streams incoming, and I guess light jump stream as well, and then followed by it you will have to transition out of the rice brain into the noodle brain, where you will have to jack with a bunch of schlongs.
Yeah, now you get into this fast hand stream section, and the LNs start to make their reappearance as if though you didn't already have enough to worry about here going into the second quarter of the map.
This is very speedy as well. I believe it clocks in at 252, something around there. So that is what you're gonna have to deal with in terms of BPM when you are doing that light hand stream section. Thankfully, it's not too, I guess, it's not too long on the phrases, so you don't have to save stamina for that. It's not very intensive when it comes to stamina. It's just you really have to put in the work for those small phrases.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely need to put the foot down on the floor to make your way through it, muscle your way to maintain the accuracy through them. I feel like the interesting part is going to be the transition out of the hand streams, going into those LN jumps. As you can see here, making their reappearance, being able to transition between this very speedy hand stream into those LNs and then back into the hand streams. It's one thing to be nimble on your fingers, but when you have to hold for even just a split second, that really messes with the psychology of what you're doing with the patterns. And the fact that both of these guys are basically neck and neck with each other in terms of accuracy is kind of nutty.
Yeah, again, kind of like Sanji Junahun, where you said, I expect a lot of players to possibly drop tons of 300s, maybe even a couple 200s on those schlong jacks, because they're, you know, as you're transitioning out, they're very hard, and sometimes you just want to go for the combo instead of the accuracy. So might let down a couple of notches in terms of accuracy just to combo these LNs.
Yeah, we'll go from 99.9s all over the place to maybe 99.89
Yeah,
all over the place.
maybe.
Because I mean, we these players that we have left are I'm scared.
Yeah,
to put it
and
bluntly.
especially on this map, I don't think it'll be too much trouble for any of the players. However,
No,
again,
if any-
definitely something hard to me.
Yeah, if anything, it'll just be like 1 or 2 misses, like just those random lapses that are
Yeah.
gonna make all the difference. And this is the
Look at
margin
that.
between these two.
It's like
Oh my
700
goodness!
points. Wow, this is a good matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sparky, I'm excited for this one.
Oh, then introduce this one to us, man. This is
Edamame, a Koukanaru cover by Baby No Money and Rich Brian. This is a custom map by ArcCat, custom background as well. And this is the reading SB pick that we beg of you guys to please practice and to please pick. We really want to see this in match.
please protect this. The notes say that it is so effing hard. And they implored us to tell you guys to practice this because, oh boy.
I mean, if you come into this map unprepared, there's a big chance you're gonna fail out. Again, you see these stutters and large teleports on the LNs, transitioning into the slow jam on the LNs. It's very hard to deal with.
You know, it's funny that Arcad made this custom map with these LNSVs when they abhor
Yeah.
LNSVs.
Yeah.
And there's just littered all over the place. These are so aggressive to read through. They are basically 0 BPM teleports that make you want to anticipate what is upcoming.
And this slow jam is so brutal. It's insanely hard, and then you get into the fast jam right after. You did see in the vocal section in the first verse, it is very stop and go and follows the vocals, and it's still very hard to act, especially if you are a seasoned SV player. It's just a lot to deal with throughout the whole map.
Yeah, and now as we get into this bit of a freestyle verse, that theme continues. I mean, the good thing is with this being the more reading oriented one is that if you can get the gimmick down, because it repeats a lot, you should be relatively okay for long durations of the map. But that being said, it definitely has quite a couple of curveballs to throw your way. As we get into this next slow jam section, the map is winding down.
And we're gonna finish off with pretty much a reprise of what happened in the first half. Nothing too crazy, however, learning it is the challenge. Again, you are gonna have to put quite a bit of attempts to get a respectable score. We see our SV specialist Hyper. He did get time to practice the SVs and still comes out with a 902. This map is insanely hard and insanely fun.
Yeah, it's one of those where you just boot it up as a bit of a meme, and you're just like, oh, this is actually like fun. But with that being said, our next SV map is gonna be Kong Kong Kitsune. And I believe this is another one that a player in this tournament has predicted to be in the map pool.
Oh yeah, Chu did. Chu predicted this one.
Like very early on, I believe, somewhere in the Discord, if I do recall correctly. But with that being said, this is gonna be our more memo-oriented SV pick.
You will see a lot of hard teleports as well as some stop and go SVs. They get very apparent in the course sections.
Oh,
and yeah. When I say hard teleports, I really mean hard teleports.
And it's just so hard to orient yourself when the SV goes away, and it's just... I love using the word anticipation for SVs because that's all they make you want to do. They make you want to preemptively press down. Oh my goodness.
And it's so hard too because you have to transition from following the vocals into following the beat in the section. You see here, the teleports.
Some rapid ones to deal with.
Just very hard. Again with the stop and go, following the beat.
Now, of course, Hyper being the SV specialist that they are, just making quick work of it. Does find a drop eventually, but it's amazing.
Yeah, bit of a curse even in the showcase, Sparky.
It can be forgiven.
Yeah. That long note is so hard to deal with. And then you have to go right back into following the vocals for the stop and go section. However, this map isn't too bad. It's only 2.5 minutes long. I guess you can consider it pretty standard in terms of the length for Memo SBs. So not too bad in terms of that. It's just that these sections are very, very hard.
Yeah, you go into the jump trail, those 0 BPM immediately on your receptor teleports.
And the slowdown, oh man.
Yeah, his last breakdown, again, just full of places to anticipate and find misses.
Just so many fake outs in this last little section too. You see the notes coming, it's like, oh, I got a hit, but then it stops for half a beat, and next thing you know, you hit a 50 or you miss.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, that'll do it for the conventional pool. All that's left, Dinah, is to show everybody the tiebreaker.
And boy, do we have a tiebreaker for you guys. Oh, go ahead.
This is a custom-made tiebreaker made by Arcat and How to Play LN. And as you can hear, it is going to be play dice.
And wow, this is such a good song and also tiebreak to end things on. You do see it does clock in at 342. I would say that this map leans more towards the rice portion of things. I think it's like a 2-to-1 ratio from rice to noodles. A lot of its difficulty is going to be on awkward burst and speed sections. You do see the custom background as well, so everything about this map is custom tailored for this tournament.
Yeah, not your traditional tiebreaker, not super long, clocking in at just under 4 minutes, but it is jam-packed with things to throw you for a hell of a loop.
And even the LN sections are hard to deal with, but that's not even the focus of it. We do get a couple of LN sections, however, in the course you will see a lot of awkward rice patterning and bursts.
And as we get into a bit of a breakdown here, a lot of very interesting rolls, a lot of quirky releases to deal with as well as you make your way into the second quarter of the map.
And those one-hand shows are super hard to deal with as well. We saw a couple of those. As you get back into the chorus, we get a couple of rolls and mini jacks and then some LN sections. Even some reverse shields out of them. So again, everything is thrown at you in this map. It's very, very chaotic.
Yeah, a lot of big things in a very small package. I think describes this map relatively well as we make our way into the back half of the map, and some very, very dense patterning before you dive into the LNs here. Bit of a breakdown here. more technical elements, a lot of grace note patterning.
Yeah, a lot of graces to deal with, however, it's not super dense, and a good time to get that combo going yet again.
Yeah,
And
Prey
we just
dive
did-
back in.
yeah. Just a lot to deal with when the chorus hits. There's just so many things. It's a perfect blend of Rice and LN, and it's very nice because it tests the players on transitioning in and out a lot more than the other hybrids, I would say.
Yeah, but still maintaining that difficulty spike that a tiebreaker needs. It's a lot coming at you very quickly. You don't have quite a lot of time to orient yourself with what's being asked of you at that specific moment. And next thing you know, by the time you get comfortable, you're already having to do something else as you make your way into the last quarter of the map.
Yeah, we saw a lot of chord jacks into Grace LNs in the transition before this last section here. Very, very hard to deal with. There's a lot going on and a lot of different patterns shown throughout the map.
As you get into a bit of a more jack-oriented ending, things start to swing around a little bit as things get more chaotic. Going into the last bit, the LNs make their reappearance one final time. And definitely the pressure will be on this far into the map. Like I said, this is only just under 4 minutes, so you don't have a lot of room for error as if this were like a 6-minute tiebreaker. And that'll do it for the tiebreaker.
And that'll round off the finals and grand finals showcase for us as well.
Oh, brother got the key. Kaiki Iliodas.
But with that being said, that'll, as you said, round it out for the finals and grand final showcase. To the teams that are remaining, good luck. Please practice the SVs. We'll get the schedules out as soon as possible so that you guys can get your reschedules in.
And just a couple of things to note, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, this is going to be used for the finals and grand finals pool. Finals and grand finals are best of 13, so first to 7.
Yep, and with that being said, we hope you guys have enjoyed. Regardless of which round you were knocked out in, we definitely appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy weekends to join us here for this tournament as we begin to wind things down. I believe this is the final 6 teams left in the tournament. Best of luck to you guys, and we'll see you guys next weekend.
Now here I will recite to you the only thing that will hold true. YOLO is my ninja way. It's time to put those laws out on display. Don't stress about tomorrow when you got today. 理由注射着今の最強が最適なんて誰も知らない人生創生中接点マジで短いNow it's S2 他でえぐい Q Fresh onto our roof 花火走らせまるでvenue No math can settle this right No math can settle this right No math can settle this right Here we roll and here we cast and here we just play dice Come and venture into my dome some size Touch it on and follow us I won't stop till we're done Idiots you're allowed infinite fun みんな自由じゃなきゃもったいないじゃん It's meant to lead our journey just begun If you hesitate on what to do That's the game over you are screwed 泣いても笑っても集中中 Baby baby it's our time It's our time Choo choo choo